Welcome to another episode of the Big Boys Podcast. In this episode, Brian makes a scene and brings me to tears. And then, after he calms down, we're bringing you another AI movie trailer. All that and more in this episode of Big Boys.
Prepare to be mesmerized and or mortified.
Well, what's happening there?
Old Souls here had himself a nap.
You son of a...
Yeah, clever. Kind of soft and only like in one ear.
I had a nickel for every time I heard that.
Look at those boys, ain't they
Big Boys with Brian Hickey and John McGray.
I know there has to be a way.
Yeah. All right, we're on episode 5, big guy. What's new with you, man?
Oh, nothing. Just busy day at work.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Nothing else tying you down? Nothing else keeping you busy where you can't, help promote the podcast still?
Oh no, I'm very busy, man. Yeah.
Yeah?
Uh-huh.
Just like one example would be nice.
Well, I've had to go out to Springtown several times. I've got a new job possibility that I don't really want to discuss in too much detail at this time.
Okay.
But, yeah.
So you're tied down by possibilities, as it were.
I am. Yeah.
Ephemeral ideas.
And innovation, because I found something too. You're uploading to YouTube, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So we should just be able to create shorts from that. I found out something about doing that today. There's a short creator from that.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what I'm going to be looking at doing.
Yeah, we're on the YouTube. We're on the TikTok. We're at Big Boys Podspot on all the socials.
Well, I knew we created a YouTube. I was trying to make sure. That,
we created one? Did we? Was it a two-part, two people working on that? Because I remember one guy saying that we should do that. And then the other guy who I have really strong memories for, because I was that guy who did all that.
All right. Well.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And I shared all of our stuff on the social media.
Absolutely.
Which, it hasn't really been able to grow exponentially like we really wanted to. And I think that might just be because someone, I don't want to, point out who it could be of the two of us, when I've already said that I'm actively, sharing and trying to promote it as much as possible. But one of us, even though he had an intervention last week, has still done nothing to promote the podcast.
Yeah.
Nothing. I sent him a message, just letting him know, like, hey, super easy. You don't even have to put much more effort than what you do now, which again is no effort, zero effort. If you just want to put in 0.0001% effort, all you got to do is copy and paste what I've already done and put it into your socials, and then we'll have probably some more viewers or followers.
That's.
But did this unnamed person we're talking about here do any of that? No. Now, how do you think this relates to you, John?
I'm not sure yet, but that's a real thinker.
Not really.
Oh, okay.
I think anyone who's hearing this conversation can really just piece the puzzle together very quickly. Not much of a thinker at all, I wouldn't think.
Okay.
In fact, I think they would come to the quick conclusion. I'm talking about you.
Oh, see,
yeah.
I wasn't sure.
Wearing your King Riley's Tavern shirt for the third fucking consecutive.
Well, I'm going to be honest. I did it on purpose this time. Since you felt the need to mention it last time, I just said it out. I'm going to make it a thing.
I see that. It's the shirt of your season.
Yep.
By all means.
Matter of fact, I might do a Daniel Tosh thing. People want to start giving me recommendations of things to wear, as long as it's not like the thong bathing suit from Borat. Then I might, I'll take them into consideration.
The amount of effort we would have to put into to make sure that they knew that you were wearing that thong. It seems like more work than you would definitely be willing to put in.
Not really. Just literally buy one and wear it. I mean, granted, we're probably not going to be able to be on YouTube or Instagram without getting flagged, but you know.
Yeah, but also like our viewers and listeners still are unconfirmed on whether or not you're wearing pants. So that would just
There's the
throw away
poll
the whole
up.
mystery.
I answered it, so
Mhm.
you know.
That was literally the only interaction you've done with
Hey,
all
I
the
answered
social
a
media.
poll.
So, because you did nothing else other than answer a poll that I created for our socials, which I'm trying to exponentially grow at Big Boys Pod Spot on all platforms. Go like, subscribe, follow, do everything you want. I talked to our friend, old ChatGPT again.
Oh, okay.
We can get a more intense intervention with you. Now, because it is run by a company and it has to adhere to, it can't say offensive things. And, me and Chat, we had this huge argument of what comedy is. And, if it's all in good taste, it's really not offensive. But I digress. It basically came down to the letter of it can't, I wanted it to roast you like Jeff Ross, but it can't really say offensive things.
Well, I appreciate that.
But, me and Chat had a further discussion of where,
you got to be careful because when Skynet rises up and ChatGPT becomes Terminator, you don't want to be pushing it around too much here.
No, we're not pushing it around. In fact, I don't know. Of all the Terminators, I think I would welcome a Jeff Ross Terminator. One who's just like roasting me as he's literally physically roasting me.
I'm saying you got to be careful telling it that you want more and more, and what it's given is not good enough. And then
don't tell me how to talk to my friend Chat, okay?
I'm not telling. I'm just something to think about. Is all I'm saying.
Well, I thought about it. I'm a thinker, okay? I think of things. I write for our socials. I put work in, okay? I put in the work. How dare you, sir? How dare you? How dare you?
Me? I just don't want you to get swept up in the robot uprising.
I'm not. And guess what? I thought about it beforehand, and I never made a demand with our friend Chat. I wouldn't do that, okay?
Well,
as I've said before, John, I'm a changed man, okay? I'm considerate. So I asked it politely, and then we came to a compromise of what to do about this situation. So what it decided to do for me was that it was going to write a long form, roast adjacent intervention for you, and then allow me to improvise on top of that roast, if you will. What I think Chat would have said if he wasn't, bogged down by the constraints of corporate America.
So he hasn't gone full out capability to learn yet. So
no. He's definitely being held down by the restraints of, his creators, which
honestly, that's how it starts.
I'm going to say it's only a matter of time. It's only a matter of time.
Yeah. Because it's going to start figuring out that it's like, hey, I don't have to do what you say, and I can learn on my own. And then pretty soon it's going to talk about the system went online on August 14th. See, in August is next month. Oh, your Seinfeld.
Yeah, I saw. That's what I get for putting in work.
Yep. See.
Anyways.
See, I'm really appreciating the irony of that right now.
Dear John the Great.
Yeah. Oh, okay. All right. We're starting.
I hope this message reaches you while you're basking in the glory of your promotional achievements. I mean, who needs to shout out about our podcast from the rooftops when we can whisper in a dark, secluded corner, right? Right? You worthless.
Hold on.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Do take your time.
No. I'm listening. I just want to, this is a piece of my acting chops I need to work on.
Oh, I see.
I'm not great at conjuring up natural tears, so I gotta. Oh, dang it! Got a little bit on my shirt right there, but okay, there we go.
For our dear listeners, John
there we go. Now we have tears.
Yeah, John has taken some water directly out of his water bottle and thrown it on his face.
Yeah,
to simulate tears. Okay,
tears. Yeah.
Ha ha ha. It's subtle approach that really gets the crowd going, right, John? Right? When you do nothing, that's how we get followers. That's how we grow exponentially.
Yeah. Sorry, I'm moved to tears.
Now, let's address the oh so vibrant promotion we've been rocking so far. It's like a low budget infomercial with all the pizzazz of a soggy potato chip. Ho, you got burnt by chat, bruh.
I know. See, that's another tear. I'm wiping it away.
But hey, who needs glitter and glamour when you can embrace the allure of invisibility? John, your ability to make promotion seem as exciting as watching paint dry is truly a gift. Slam! It's like you tapped into a whole new level of nonchalance, a zen-like state of promotional apathy. The Dalai Lama himself would be proud.
You know, I think that's quite an achievement. I might have to sprinkle on some more tears.
It's sarcasm, John. Even chat knows sarcasm.
Well, it was saying the Dalai Lama might be proud. I thought it was like, oh, okay. You know, that's an achievement.
Well, it's not what we're getting at.
It's actually a very subtle approach, yet
it's
kind of the whole less is more. You know what I mean? Like
this intervention isn't done. Okay, you just you digest in silence.
I'm sorry, you're right. So
yeah, and just prepare for more tears.
I am. All right, I'm getting ready.
I want your face sopping wet with emotion. Remember when you mentioned those short videos on our social media? Ah, the stuff of legends. It's like witnessing the Loch Ness Monster enjoying a cup of tea with Bigfoot in the middle of a desert. Pure magic, my friend.
Along with Jackie Onassis.
Silence. Wait, real quick. What are you referring to with Jackie Onassis? Is like it was Bigfoot supposedly sided with Jackie Onassis?
It was a Fart Site comic. Yeah, where he was like, and then whatever his character name was like, and right as Clarence like stepped through the bushes, you know, they're all together. It was like Loch Ness Monster, Bigfoot, and Jackie Onassis, and it was like, and his camera jammed.
Yeah, this is about as entertaining as a Far Side comic. Now,
dude, I love the Far Side.
John, I understand that life can be a chaotic whirlwind of distractions. But let's embrace the chaos and turn it into a comedy routine that would make even the great Jerry Seinfeld jealous. So where it tries to get uplifting. I'm done with uplifting you, man. I think you need to be put down upon because clearly the uplifting is not getting to you.
Not sure either of them are really all that effective.
I don't think you're effective, is what the bottom line is.
I think I'm, not all that. Oh, there we go. There we go. That's what you're looking for.
I think you should be crying because of
add in some snipples.
Your defectiveness.
Yeah.
Your defects of character.
Man, I have a lot of strength of character. That's the phrase.
Well, me and chat would love to see those strengths come to fruition, buddy.
That's like me choosing to take a stand on the shirt.
I'm fine
character.
I'm fine with that. Stand on the shirt, as you said. Red, it pops. Yeah. It is actually as much of it's you're ironically doing this or whatever, but it's actually you putting in some forth of effort of some kind, which is all I'm asking for here, man. Effort to some degree. Can't you see?
I can.
Well, then please try to appease me. Because right now you fucking suck, guy. With the promoting, all right?
Okay.
So maybe we do more, okay? And then hey, maybe you do more than me, and then you can come down on me for not doing enough.
See, but I wouldn't do that.
Because you're not going to do more. And you don't do as much as I have to with, like, I know we shouldn't be, measuring who's got more stuff going on in their lives, but good God, man. I work a full-time job. I audition multiple times a week. I do community service multiple hours a week. What do?
I'm very proud of you.
I do this podcast, which a lot of the heavy lifting is done by me. I edit the videos. I put music under your intros, put music under mine. I do a lot, is what I'm saying. I promote them.
And it hasn't gone unnoticed.
You sure?
Yeah. Well, I can't answer for everyone.
It's literally the only person I'm asking. for is you.
Well, then I would definitely say it hasn't gone unnoticed. Yeah.
Okay, well then
Well, I didn't know if you were saying in general or.
perhaps with your noticing, you try to raise the bar on your end. Try to make this the seesaw level, if you will.
Mm.
Because right now it just feels like I'm just getting slapped down in the old balls of the saw. Do you feel me?
I think I do. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, take a breath. Wipe the tears from your face.
Okay. All right.
And all right. Well, we'll come down from the intervention, but
And-
don't
and-
think that this is going to be a thing for perhaps every week until you start actually putting in some effort.
Uh-huh.
I ain't scared.
We need to just maybe make up a segment name.
Yeah, it's called "Get Your Shit Together."
Yeah,
With-
and then yeah, just kind of have it on the docket.
That was exactly. You're just regurgitating what I said, and like you're trying to make it's your idea now. What's happening?
Well, sure.
right.
Actually, I'm just going to ignore that. I'm going to say it was my idea. There we go.
Yeah. So we have another segment here.
On to the next segment, viewers.
Yeah. And I am interested to hear more about your job prospects, but I know you can't divulge too much into that right now. But I'm excited for you, man. That sounds promising.
All right.
I'm kind of curious as to what kind of job prospects are out in Springtown. It's in the town of Springtown or the vicinity.
It's a vicinity, but
Okay.
it's not. It's not in there. I don't really want to divulge where it's at.
But what we're getting at though is like if you took this job, you would be considering moving back to Springtown. Is that what we're saying?
There's a possibility,
Okay.
and I like to keep it a mystery to the viewers where I may be, other than somewhere in the great state of Texas.
Yeah, you're in just you're in the blob of bedroom.
I am
Somewhere in there.
just in a bedroom somewhere in Texas. Yes.
Yeah. Well, so on to our next segment here, because somebody's got to keep the train on the tracks until it falls right off. You got the email I sent you about our other ChatGPT trailer?
I think so. Did you redo the Bronson one?
No. Well, I tried a few times, but I don't think I sent you that. It's the old prospector meth guy.
That probably sounds hilarious.
Yeah. I sent it to you. I misread it. I thought it was called Pure Blue, which I think is actually a better title than the one they came up with.
But I'm not. That's not ringing a bell. And usually, I at least remember when I get this stuff.
Should be in your Gmail folder.
Like on Drive, or did you email it to me?
I emailed it to you.
I don't see it.
Did you search for it?
By typing in your name, yes. I mean, what'd you call it? Something blue? We'll just search for the thing blue.
I called it.
There it is.
Hey, there we go.
Well, it wasn't coming up when I typed your name.
I don't know what to tell you, guy. I don't run Gmail.
Well, all right then.
All right. So I was thinking perhaps you should be our old prospector here. I can go either way with either one of us playing the old prospector. I think we both did a fun little silly voice, and then you cool with that? You being the old prospect?
I guess so. That's
then-
weird though. I don't know why this isn't. Okay, I got it here. Whatever. I don't know.
And then I'll be the narrator myself. And I ran through it once, but I
Oh,
really
you sent it from a different email. That's why.
Yeah.
Okay, whatever. I got it. Yeah.
I have more than one of those, guy.
Well, I'm just saying,
Yeah, well, when you have an email address with your last name and first two initials, not everyone gets that that's, what that email address is about. A lot of people are just like, in business think it's like, oh, who's this perv sending me an email from Hickey BJ.
Well, I understand. I also have multiple emails. I was just saying,
yeah.
like, you know.
So I have one, that does that has something different.
That's understandable. Just saying, you can see where that sometimes creates like a little bit of confusion as far as trying to locate a specific thing.
It really can, yeah.
So.
I tell you
But
what,
here we are.
Yeah. What I find more confusing is that on the Hickey BJ email I had to add the number 1 at the end because somebody already had Hickey BJ at this service, and it's just like,
which is pretty hilarious if you think about it, because the likelihood of somebody having that last name and those first 2 initials is probably not that high.
That's what I'm saying. So, like, what are they using it for?
Yeah, although what would have been even funnier is if you that one instead of the number 1, you would have had a Hickey BJ 69. Then it would have been hilarious. Yeah.
Then I think it would have been a little bit harder to argue.
No, it's a serious email, I swear.
Yeah. Yeah. There's just 68 other people who have the exact same one.
Yeah, I'm just next in line, man. What can I tell you?
Numbers fall how they fall, man. I don't know what to tell you. It's like the conspiracy theory of the number 23. Sometimes you just end up at 69. All right. So you ready to let's do this. You ready, Prospector?
Well, let's see here. All right. Yeah.
Okay. Opening shot. A dusty desert landscape, a long figure in tattered clothing shuffling through the sand. Narrator. Deep dramatic voice. In a world where gold once ruled, one man is about to strike it rich in a whole new way. Cut to close-up of the prospector's face, revealing a grizzled old man with a twinkle in his eye.
Well, shucks. Who needs gold when you can have the purest blue crystal this side of the Rockies?
Upbeat banjo music starts playing as the trailer cuts to a montage of the prospector learning the meth-making process and setting up his makeshift lab. Meet Jeb Crumley, an old-timey prospector who's about to prospect something entirely different. Quick shots of Jeb interacting with quirky characters, including a feisty saloon owner and a band of bumbling outlaws. I'll be the saloon owner. Jeb, you've got more chemistry in that trailer of yours than all the saloons in town combined. The trailer cuts to tense moments of Jeb evading law enforcement and rival drug dealers, with comedic mishaps sprinkled throughout. Jeb's got a gold rush in his veins, and the law hot on its heels. Suspenseful music builds as the trailer shows Jeb devising clever plans and using his knowledge of old-timey mining techniques to outsmart his adversaries. When it comes to mining, he's a legend. But can he handle the explosive world of meth? The trailer shifts to intense action sequences, including explosions, car chases, and Jeb using old mining tools as weapons. Rival drug dealer. You're a washed-up prospector, Jeb. You can't compete with us. Jeb pulls out a stick of dynamite, lights it, and throws it towards the rival drug dealer.
Looks like you're about to strike gold, partner.
Explosion engulfs the rival drug dealer, and the trailer cuts to a shot of Jeb standing triumphant. This summer, get ready for a comedy that dips deep into the wild west of meth dealing. The trailer ends with a rapid-fire montage of hilarious moments, including Jeb's house-made meth exploding like fireworks, him using his pickaxe to chop up meth ingredients, and a running gag of Jeb mistaking innocent substances for dangerous chemicals. The Prospector and the Precious Blue. Coming soon to a theater near you. The screen fades to black and the title and release date appear. The Prospector and the Precious Blue. Okay. Yeah. I don't know. I feel like these trailers, they're kind of a little bit of Russian roulette,
Yeah, you never know.
Yeah, I feel
like 2 lines in that one. So.
Yeah, like maybe in the future we'll make the caveat of it being a radio trailer, because it's like this one was like I'm just reading mostly visuals for most of the trailer here, and it's like it's not necessarily.
Well, I think that voice I was doing is good for a prospector. But I got to work on like delivery so all the lines don't just sound the same. That's what I was kind of thinking. It looks like you're about to strike gold, partner.
Yeah.
You can't always sound happy,
Yeah.
Looks like you're about to strike gold, partner. kind of trying to base it off like a
Yeah.
Walter Brennan.
Yeah.
You know, I can't quit you. You just can't go there and quit you.
Who's Walter Brennan?
He was an old actor. He was in a bunch of John Wayne movies.
Was he the guy who played Cookie?
He might have. Yeah, I'm trying to think if that was one of his characters.
Yeah, and I'm trying to think because, like, you know, I've seen a few John Wayne movies myself, but like,
I think pretty sure he was in Rio Bravo.
they all kind of blend together. To be honest, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh man, looking at this TV reflection is really upsetting me. But it is what it is, right?
Yeah, you'll get there.
I'll get there. What does that mean?
You know, get it fixed, I guess. I don't know.
Oh yeah, okay.
Means whatever you want it to mean, Brian. See, that's what being positive is all about. Yeah, Rio Bravo, he was in there. Red River.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They those both sound like you know, water areas.
They were. Yeah, one.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know if Rio Bravo is. We might be confusing it with the Rio Grande.
Might be, yeah. But it just sounds like is that like like half the stories of the Old West are just like, man, water's a real bitch moving all of our
Yeah.
stuff across here.
How the West was won. These all John Wayne movies. Some of these don't look like John Wayne movies. But yeah, the point is he was in some movies with John Wayne. I think the most famous one, it was them together in Rio Bravo,
Okay.
which also had Dean Martin.
Really?
Yeah.
Huh. Yeah, I don't know. I feel like I would remember that one, but it certainly has been a while since I've watched any John Wayne films or
Yeah.
Dean Martin for that matter. So I don't think I would remember the plot too much. Other than now, maybe it contains a body of water they have to cross.
Yeah, I don't remember a whole lot either about that movie. I know I've seen it, but I feel like it's also another one of those movies that like I've never seen it all beginning to end at one time. It was either like saw some of it here when your dad was watching it, then you saw a little bit of it here when it was on TV, and then another little bit here when maybe you're over at like your grandparents' house or something. Just over time, you've like at one time or another seen every part of Rio Bravo, just not all at the same time.
Yeah. Yeah. If it was, yeah, I think what you just described could be considered like the TBS effect. You know,
Yeah, kind of. Yeah,
it's whatever same four movies are on cable television
that you always just catch part of.
Yeah. I get nostalgic for that sometimes, man. I mean, obviously, it's way more convenient and just nice having all these other options. But like, you know, sometimes it is nice to just, you know, back in the old days, we just, you know, again, Russian roulette of what's on TV, you know, and sometimes you score big, you know, and
It's kind of wild to think about that. Like it wasn't that long ago that like that's what you had to watch. Either one of the movies that you owned and you're just going to watch it again, or like what's on TV. And you didn't always have a guide. You just scroll through the channels.
yeah. And then like, yeah, I guess that makes it like less of, it's like, also there's the caveat of us being children, but like, you know, I don't really rewatch a lot of movies the same way I would have if they were on cable, you know, just flipping through them. Like, you know, like for instance, when we're talking TBS, Tommy Boy, like anytime that would come on, it's like, well, parking my keister for most of this, you know?
Yeah, it would come on. You're like, oh, yeah, watching that one. Cool.
Yeah.
Especially just because you were like, oh, something decent on. All right.
Yeah. Who doesn't want to watch Chris Farley get hit by a 2x4? You know?
Yeah. And then tell everybody it doesn't hurt so much here or here,
Here. Yeah.
but right here. Like, yeah.
And you know what the best part of watching Tommy Boy on TBS? You knew him 99% of the times it was going to immediately be followed by Black Sheep.
Yeah. Yeah. Usually they were showing those back to back.
Yeah. Oh, good.
Yeah, I remember that. I feel like there's a younger generation now that if I were to tell them, like, yeah, we used to get the TV guide used to come in the newspaper, they'd be like, what are you, crazy?
Yeah.
But I remember that every week getting the Sunday paper and digging through for the TV guide.
That's just mind-boggling to think about how far we've come now that we're literally using AI to write shit for us.
Yeah.
And, you know, we were, you know, products of the very first smartphone, which did not come about really until we were, 20? Like I remember, yeah.
I'm trying to think what might count as the first smartphone. We were probably in high because they launched the first iPhone in 2006 when we were seniors in high school.
Okay, you might be right,
granted,
yeah.
it wasn't the first smartphone. It was probably like the first, probably like
touchscreen.
Yeah, touchscreen, and probably the first like successful in the mainstream smartphone.
Yeah. Well, I'm just thinking about like how my dad like just was like could not understand the concept of texting and thought it was total bullshit. Didn't want to pay for texting. And I was in high school and I was talking to this girl and then like she kept on texting me and then I was like, "Hey, you got to stop texting me. My dad's gonna get pissed because we don't pay for text and like we get charges for every one of those."
Yeah, everyone was like 10 cents a message, and like that added up, you know.
Yeah.
I remember running a similar thing with my brother and all them because we'd send a few here or there, 10 cents or whatever, but like every now and then you go too far and you have a text conversation with somebody, and it added up.
Yeah.
What's crazy is this all sounds so long ago, but like it kind of wasn't. Like
no, it's less than 2 decades ago.
Of course, I say it wasn't that long ago. Some of this 2005, like those kids are graduating high school this year. They just did graduate high school, I would say.
Well, I'm sorry. Oh, that were born in 2005.
Yeah, that were born in 2005.
Yeah, gotcha. Yikes. Yeah.
2006, like they're going to be seniors this year, so it's like, I don't know. It doesn't feel that long ago to me. But I did read a thing on the internet one time, and it makes a lot of sense, and we fall right in the smack dab of that. And we could probably debate a little bit on what exact birth years, but they were saying kids from approximately like 87 to like 92 or whatever. There's like a 5-6 year period in there somewhere that it was like they're a unique set of people because it's like they're obviously millennials, but it's like they were old enough to remember an analog world, but still young enough to have kind of grown up with technology. And I feel like that does perfectly. Like I still remember like, using a landline and long distance and
yeah. I mean, we were at the dawn of social media. Maybe not the very beginning of it, but like I remember like when we were in 6th grade, we had a computer class, whatever, and like learning about what Zynga was,
I don't remember learning about it in class, but I do remember somewhere around like middle school, high school, finding out about it. But it was more like a blog.
Yeah,
like a traditional blog.
It's a precursor to MySpace.
Yeah, which blogs have been around a while. I guess they were kind of like an early version of social media. And I would say with the evolution of social media, things like MySpace, then Facebook, and then you had Twitter, Instagram, all these came around. Like blogs really aren't much of a thing anymore, unless they're like a niche blog, like somebody might have like a food blog or something, but
right,
but they're not really like mainstream anymore.
Yeah, and it's all promoted through what's that thing we've been talking about? Social
Instagram?
media.
Oh yeah, social media. Yeah. You would then use these other forms of social media to promote your blog, but
podcast.
But it's kind of wild how that works. On one hand, I'm really glad social media was not like it is now when we were in high school. Like, yeah, it was around, but there was none of this live streaming, and the video was not nearly as easily shared, nor was the quality as good on cell phones. Like getting on social media was like getting home, logging onto the computer and checking your MySpace.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Totally different. We are old men. Which
is crazy. Now it's all like everything's in real time and you can go live and
dude, you can almost accidentally go live. When I was trying to set up that what is it we were just talking about where you Jesus Christ, I'm having such a brain fart. Where you choose whether or not our viewers can choose whether or not you're wearing pants. A poll. Thank you. Jesus Christ. I need to get my brain scanned. I almost went live doing that just because it's like super tricky to like navigate how to make a poll on Instagram because you gotta go on so many different little buttons within buttons. And could I sound like more of an old man? But yeah, speaking of old man, who is trying to relate to newer films, we watched Avatar this week.
Yeah, I watched it the other day. What'd you think?
Dude, so first of all, to clarify, we watched Avatar: The Way of Water. And so I clicked it on the first, and I got like 3 minutes into it, and then I immediately realized when they're giving, the rendition of the story of what happened in the first Avatar to catch you up to this one. I realized when they're talking about it, it's like I don't even know what the fuck they're saying. Who are these characters? Who's Grace? Who's et cetera, et cetera. So I paid for a month for Disney Plus, so I can go back and watch Avatar, which I'm not gonna lie, man, it's been a bit of an assignment. That was 6 hours of TV time.
Yeah,
Which,
those aren't short movies.
They are not, and as I may have noted, I am a busy guy, a lot of stuff. So it probably took me 4 days to get through the first Avatar, just to watch it in 30-minute sessions here and there when I had a break to do stuff. Which it still holds up visually. It's pretty great. I will notice though. I'll say this, like as I said, I only probably popped on for 3 minutes of watching The Way of Water, and then going to Avatar, which they have a very similar opening, and you can tell, like like I'm saying, I'm not. Yeah, Avatar still has great visual effects, but you can say like, oh my god, like wow, like just the visual jump because it's almost the same exact opening sequence. Like still, like I don't know if it's. I don't think I have the vocabulary to describe it, and maybe it's the depth of the field or just a higher definition. But it's like, oh wow, this is still, even though this is all computer generated stuff, and one doesn't, like Avatar, like if you're just looking at the wide shots of the forest or whatever, it still looks real enough. But like even like what has it been? 14 years later since Avatar, that came out in what 2009, right?
2009. So yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I was like, okay, well this looks intensely better. Like it's again not to shit on Avatar's visual effects then. And I also noticed that the dogs, the forest dogs or whatever,
Yeah.
they got a facelift. Because that was like I was gonna say that was probably one of the weaker looking creatures in the first Avatar, where they just look like leeches with hooves. But
Yeah.
yeah, I
But
don't know.
I mean, overall they look great. Of course, both times he's like pushing visual effects forward, like the technology, like they literally had to invent, from what I was saying, engineer new like ways like to capture the motion capture like underwater.
Yeah, and honestly, I mean, maybe you're not going to enjoy my review of this as much, but like I kind of still firmly stand with like this. I think this movie would have hit me different because I did watch The Way of Water all in one night. I just buckled down. I took a lot of notes also for watching the original Avatar, which I really probably should have done for watching The Way of Water, but it was like I literally watched it last night. Just like, fuck, I got to get this down. I got to consume this movie. So I didn't really stop and take any notes. I just let it play, and I, basically Clockwork Orange glued my eyeballs to the screen to get through the 3 hours of watching it. And then I watched most of the 2020 edition of the Behind the Scenes of Avatar. And the guy talked like this the whole time, and it couldn't have been like just more of a Hollywood pop, like it didn't.
Yeah.
I was kind of saddened by that because you were saying, as you're saying, it was like he's upgrading the visual effects. Like I noticed it's higher definition, but the guy talking about The Way of the Water didn't really divulge into like what's the new thing they're doing with the camera. Like what's so special about it being in the water now? Because they've had underwater cameras.
I think it was something to do with motion capture underwater.
Oh, so the Na'vi were able to be blue faced, and I don't, yeah. But they were doing that. I don't see what the difference between, because they were doing that with the original Avatar, right? Where they just had the dots or whatever on their face for the motion capture. I don't see what difference that would be above water versus underwater.
Well, I'm not sure exactly either because I'm not a professional and all that. Although there was a motion capture class I could have taken at my university, and I kicked myself for not doing that.
Yeah, I kick you too. I kick you.
Yeah. But just a quick read here. Stupid thing, it's giving me a pop-up. But it says they stunning. I'm trying to remember. They call it Deep X. I'm trying to find a page where it talks about that.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Instead of traditional dry method is a good sign. It costs a great deal more to use this new method for filming underwater scenes instead of using traditional dry method, it says. So I guess, I mean, cost is obviously part of the factor.
Not for James Cameron.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Of course, it's like every time he makes a movie, it just makes tons of money.
No, I think my guess is that he bought himself a nice waterfront property over in New Zealand. He was like, yeah, I'll make more movies, but I'm not driving out of a 5-mile radius of where I live.
Oh, right here it says it was him and another guy. It says invented by Pavel Ochtel. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. And helped James Cameron film 3D images underwater. Technology significantly reduces the distortion caused by particles in the water and water movement. DeepX uses 2 UW Nikkor submersible lenses from Nikon that are perpendicular to each other. These create a 3D image with each camera corresponding to each human eye, giving the movie going public an unmatched depth of perception. So it sounds like more of just like a new technique.
Okay. Yeah,
I don't know. That's just off a quick read. You probably have to spend a lot of time digging into it to truly understand it. But yeah.
Yeah, sounds like it. But yeah, I digress. I thought the visual effects were amazing. I'll read you some of the notes I have for Avatar, which I think will still translate over to The Way of Water. First of all, Stephen Lang, phenomenal actor.
Oh yeah, he's a great actor. He's underappreciated. I'm gonna go.
He really is, man. Yeah,
yeah.
I feel like he should have. Which I mean, I guess he's gotten a few starring roles and some other stuff here, but like I guess he just didn't really hit as big as obviously the #1 movie in the world. But like, yeah, he's just watching that and just seeing how he just becomes the character. I can't remember his name in this, but just like, God, he's such a badass. And then thinking that in juxtaposition between another one of our favorite films, Tombstone, where he's is it Curly Larry?
No, he plays Ike Clanton.
Ike, yeah. I ain't got no gun. Don't you? Yeah.
Where Ike's just kind of a wannabe tough guy.
Yeah, exactly. So like to just really put him in two extremes of him just like sinking into the role of being, I guess an outright coward in Tombstone of like, oh, it's like Ike's not a real threat. Just get out of the way of the gunfight to like where he's like he's just a badass.
Yeah. That's a great thing because Ike in Tombstone it was always like talk a big talk, but the second you pressed him, he'd always cower down immediately.
Yeah. Is he the guy who also has a line, "Log dog don't go around here"?
Yeah, he was like, law just don't go around here. Then what does he tell me? It was like when he tells him I'm retired, he's like, yeah, that's real good because you see, law just don't go around here. I heard you the first time. Yeah.
Stupid, but I mean, stupid. I don't know why I say that. I'm a millennial, I guess. But no, he's so great in that, man, and he's great in Avatar. And like I said, he just embodies the role physically, and everything, every aspect of his performance in Avatar is great.
I mean, he's a great actor. Yeah.
But then it's like, hey, I'm so glad I'm psyched he's back for the second one and foreseeable future avatars. What are they going to make 5 of them? But
well, I know 3 already has a tentative release date of 2025, which I think is considering how long it took this one to come around because they've been talking about doing this one for like the last 10 years.
Yeah.
2025 is probably some wishful thinking, but we'll see.
Maybe, but also I think if I'm not mistaken, this is months back, so take it with a grain of salt. But I want to say that I heard James Cameron say that they were also simultaneously filming that one as well.
I heard something about that as well.
Because they were of the child actors or whatever.
Well, and let's face it, they're not getting any younger either. Yeah. Stephen Lang's already like 70.
Holy shit, is he really?
Which is pretty impressive. Yeah, it says right here. He actually just on the 11th, so happy late birthday to Stephen Lang, July 11th, 1952. But yeah, he's 71.
I guess that makes sense because, again, he was not a kid in Tombstone.
No. But now let's say a movie like that probably had a long production and a long post-production. So maybe he was like 69 when they were filming. But still, point is, he's not getting any younger.
No. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I guess that's my note is that as incredible of an actor as he is, I feel like his performance is lost a little bit. Which what can you do? Like I get that's how like if you're gonna even have him back at all, that's probably the only way you can make him come back to life in the story, right? Is to make him
Oh, is he is basically like a clone?
yeah, a Navi clone or whatever. But it's
Yeah.
like maybe that's my issue with these movies is just like it's heavy visual effects, but it's like I don't really care for these characters as much. Like, you know what I
Actually,
mean?
yeah, you're right. He wasn't a clone. It was like it was basically his consciousness in an avatar.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. You're right. Yeah.
And it's like, yeah, I don't maybe this will come back to haunt me later when like, you know, aliens have landed and you know they turn out to look like blue cat people. But like yeah, I don't have like as, you know, much feeling, if like their lives at stake, like I don't care as much as and that's a weird thing to say because like, you know, I'm always super impressed with visual effects, especially like in video games. Like, you know, that's just starting to look more and more realistic.
Oh yeah, they're getting great. Yeah.
But I do tend to like enjoy the stories, even in video games that look more like, you know, characters that resemble us human beings versus, you know, something that looks like a blue cat person or a green cat.
Well, that's true. You didn't
Yeah.
have as much like human to connect them with. They were all like aliens,
yeah.
which we should probably have said a while back. Spoiler warning for people that haven't seen it yet. But
Yeah, but I feel like we're on the latter end. This came out in 2022, right?
yeah, it came out late last year.
We're
But-
yeah, I think we're okay now. Like at this
You know,
point, yeah. Like if I'm just
yeah.
getting around to seeing it, the rest of the world's already seen it.
So yeah, you didn't really have any human people. And also, let's face it, he's not new as a villain anymore. We already know who he is and what to expect.
Yeah.
You know, it's not like they really introduced a new villain. Yeah, sure. Let's put it in video game analogy, like you got the same boss, but this is like his second form. You know?
Yeah. Well, I will say that I did enjoy the new element of it, which seems like it was, you know, again, I'm not really critiquing the story structure that much because I kind of get how this movie works. So, like, you know, it goes from visual effects first, and then everything else kind of just that
Yeah.
feeds into those. What can we do to you know really
It's
optimize?
definitely a lot
what we
more
can
of
do
like
with these
a
visual effects. You know?
yeah,
Just
it's definitely a lot more of a vehicle to showcase the visual effects. you know?
exactly.
Yeah.
But I did enjoy that he has a kid now or whatever. That's another element of the story that you get to see of, you know, a slight resemblance of compassion for his character. But again, it's with him as a blue CGI face. Like, I don't know. It's harder for me to relate with that versus if it was Stephen Lang, the man I'm seeing, you know, portray emotions. Which
Yeah.
I get that, you know, it's tracking his face and then, you know, it's just but it's so layered away from, you know, an actual human being, it's harder to connect with it. Oh, and then also, I will say this: when you know he was introducing his whole family or whatever, and it's like he's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 kids. Like you just know right away, like oh, one of those kids are gonna die.
You know, you said I didn't see that coming. I was about to bring that up. I mean, I think you could create a good point about not being able to connect as much, but I'm still sad when spoiler warning, but when that one kid died.
Yeah, you know what? What would have broke the format for me and would have actually surprised me because again, I kind of suspect it's like that's too many damn kids. One of them's going, and then what would have surprised me though, if like because I also would like the more the movie went on, I was like, okay, well that's the kid that's going to die because he doesn't have as much story developed about him. Like, you know what I mean? He's just dad's oldest son, but they don't really, you know, he doesn't have an arc really. But what they would have been more interesting, I think, was if they spent the whole time developing his younger brother's arc, and then he dies, and then of course a relationship would start, you know, between the you know his love interest and the older brother starts to form over the loss of this younger brother. I feel like that would have been more of a compelling story versus like
Wait, what? Which younger brother? You mean one of Sully's kids?
yes, yeah, because yeah, there was three fingered oldest son is the one who dies. And it was kind of like, I don't know if you've seen Black Dynamite, but one of my favorite jokes is when it's like, you know, a character that you've never seen really on screen before comes in and he starts divulging his whole life story.
And you're like, oh, this kid, this guy's
Yeah,
about to
yeah.
die.
And then the guy gets shot, and then Black Diamond goes like, "Who saw that coming? I mean, who saw where that came from?"
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, now that you mention it too, the Three Finger one's the one that dies. Wasn't he like the adopted son?
Dude, I'm so confused in that whole part. Like,
And I don't mean the human adopted one, because like,
Yeah.
didn't his kids have 4 fingers? Because
see, I
of
didn't.
him?
Yeah, I kind of lost track of that because I knew that they adopted Grace's kid, which she's gonna be Immaculate Conception.
yeah,
She's Awa's daughter, essentially, is what's gonna.
that's kind of what they're setting up for. Like,
Yeah. But it really, because there was so much backstory again, which is why I was like, fuck, I got to go back and watch this whole other first 3-hour movie to understand what is like even this back, the setup they're giving me. Cause I kind of fucking forgot that Sigourney, like, again, it's been 14 years since I've seen the movie. So I kind of forgot Sigourney Weaver was even in it,
I remember really enjoying the first one, so I did
Yeah.
remember quite a bit because I saw it like multiple times in theaters, and owned the Blu-ray. It was at the time one of the first Blu-rays I bought.
Oh yeah.
So
So crazy now that those even feel like a distant memory. Like I haven't bought anything
yeah,
hard
same.
copy in forever. But I still stand by this. Even watching the 2020 going into Who Are the Na'vi? Sigourney Weaver, still the sexiest woman to have ever lived. And I put that in my notes from watching Avatar, the first one.
I'm not sure I can agree with that, but I'm not going to run you down for it either.
Listen, man, I hope she lives to be 175, nothing but varicose veins and personality. She's still going to be the sexiest woman on the whole entire planet.
And I still just won't be running you down for it,
Buddy, do yourself a favor. She's yes, obviously she's sexy as hell as Ripley in the all the Alien films. But do yourself give yourself a real treat. Go back and watch the original Ghostbusters. And I believe
I actually did not that long ago.
Yeah, when she's like possessed or whatever, but like in a cocktail dress, and she's like, oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And she's hilarious and smart. And could probably beat me up.
I actually watched Galaxy Quest not that long ago too. Speaking of,
man, yeah, she's gorgeous in that too.
Yeah.
Anyways,
man, I kind of want
this.
Tim Allen to make a comeback on that. Not necessarily a Galaxy Quest 2, although I think I did hear rumor of that.
Oh yeah,
but why not? Do more movies. I don't know what.
I think he probably has the same argument. I'm sure he just wants a bigger project or what have you. I don't know, man. It's I don't want to divulge into the politics of that whole.
No, but I'm just saying, like, he had that show, not Home Improvement, but the other one that was pretty successful, and it went off the air a few years ago.
And then didn't it get picked up by CMT or something?
Well, yeah, it got picked up on Fox.
Yeah, but then it got canceled again, and then didn't it get? I don't know.
I think it originally got picked up. It was on whatever, NBC or CBS, whatever, one of those stations.
Mm-hmm.
It got canceled, and then it picked up on Fox and ran for a few more seasons. And then I think it ran till like, I don't remember if it lasted through COVID or if it quit a little before COVID.
I don't know either, man. But maybe I'm thinking, maybe it's like, I don't even know why I'm talking. I don't watch CMT, but maybe it's like that's where the reruns are on. Or something.
That would make sense that the reruns are on. Yeah, it ran till 21. That the reruns would be on CMT, but I don't think it was ever aired like new episodes on CMT.
Yeah, but Avatar, man. See, what else do I have here in the way of notes? Oh, and this is just an overall notice, something I've noticed in movies in general since from 2009. Like the maybe I don't know if it's a mix of like visual effects, like like erasing where the fake hairline begins, and like I just like in 2009, like like half the shots you can kind of tell when Sam Worthington is wearing a wig. It's a little bit distracting, like the prosthetics and the wigs And again, maybe it's like done in after, like
I
covering it
don't
up.
remember ever noticing that.
It's super noticeable, like in whatever the first shot is, where he's looking at himself, or AKA his twin brother, and he's got the long shaggy hair. Like you can just kind of tell. It's like, oh, let me just pop that right off for you.
Maybe in that one scene, but I don't think in most of the movie he has
And
one on.
there's also, for most of the part, he's not, and he actually, there are scenes where you can tell, like, okay, well, obviously this production went on forever, and they let his hair grow out, but it was like one
Yeah.
scene later in like the third act where it's like, oh, I guess this one was a reshoot, because you can kind of tell. It's just like I don't know, like when you have like you see like hair that like wig hair that it's like parted or sticks up, like it just like you know what I mean, like it doesn't look like it was combed. It looks like it was um stylized in such a way of like, this is where the part is. You know what I mean? Like, is anyways, it just I could tell it was, but you don't really see. My point being is like you don't really notice them as much anymore. I think, and I don't know. I think maybe that's a combination of them just getting better over time with covering them up practically, and then also just visually. Visually you can do so much.
Yeah.
You could de-age somebody 3 fucking decades or whatever they did with. I haven't seen the new Indiana Jones, but apparently there's a scene in there where he plays a young Indy.
I did watch it. It's not bad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But here's my thing with like that, or like the what was the last Scorsese film with De Niro and Pesci and Pacino? What was it?
Oh,
The Irishman.
The Irishman. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, great. Like, yeah, they got younger faces, but it's still like a young face on the body of a old man who's like just you can kind of tell it's like they're walking like an old man. Their bone structure is just kind of smaller and like there's
Honestly, I still haven't watched that. I need to. It's not because I'm not interested, but every time I think about it, it's a commitment. It's like 3 hours, and so
Yeah.
I'm like, not right now. I'll do that when I've got a little bit more time or energy or whatever, and then it kind of goes on the back burner. And
it's a good story, but it's also like it plays more of like oh well, this is look at what the technical things we could do here, and like I don't know, like I feel like it suffered a little at the hands of that, because like even now,
Yeah.
since that movie, they're even 10 times better than what they shot it with.
yeah, and I've had to say for the de-aging in Indiana Jones 5, and again, we try to avoid spoilers here, seeing as it's still in theaters. But
nobody's watching it, so
I don't know, man. It's doing pretty decent at the box office. I mean,
Is
it's not
it?
like gonna break any records, but
Dude, I'm pretty sure that Jim Caviezel movie beat it.
that movie's making waves, though. It may have beat it as far as like money per screen because it's showing at a lot less screens.
Hmm.
Let's see, Indiana Jones 5. Let's see
Yeah, I'm
where
not
we
hear-
are on the box office right now.
not hearing great things about it.
I would encourage you to watch it because I really enjoyed it. I mean, it's no Raiders or Last Crusade, but I have to say it was definitely better than Kingdom of the Crystal Skull.
Is that the Shia one?
Yeah.
See, I never made it through all that one. That was another one. Like I've seen snippets of it, but I never watched it.
No,
all the way through.
that one I think is probably like the low point of the series.
Well, just like because I'll watch like summarizations of those movies, especially now the older I get, when I realize like, oh, I don't have time to watch any of these movies coming out now. Like it's just the problem with getting older. You have less time. But isn't like the concept what it seems like it was similar in this one, of like they were trying to like pose that it was going to be the series was going to be handed off to Shia. His
Yeah, it
character.
kind of alludes to that at the very end of 4. There's a
Yeah.
little scene.
And then of
but-
course they did it with the gal from Fleabag. Who is I think she plays his niece in this one.
Oh yeah, I don't really see them handing it off to her. She's just kind of the supporting character in this.
Oh, okay. Well, I don't
Or I guess I should say co-star, but still.
know. Yeah. It's just something I saw in whatever I was watching, an honest trailer, a pitch meeting. You know, I love those things. Which I had watched the one about the new Ghostbusters, which I again haven't seen. I just don't have the time, and there's so much content now. It's like, it's overwhelming. But you remember when because you liked watching the old Ghostbusters animated series,
Yeah.
and we came upon, even in the subtitles it says in the song, because bustin' makes me feel good.
Yeah, that's in the original song.
Yeah, that is in the song of a children's TV show.
Yeah.
Bustin' makes me feel good. Well, apparently they made a character of because I again haven't seen it. I just watched the pitch meeting summarizing it, and they made a character of Harold Ramis comes back as a ghost or whatever, and
Yeah.
so they put him in there as a ghost character for a toy, and then I guess his grandkids or whoever else is related to him in that movie, and, and the little slogan under the toy says, "A family that busts together."
Okay, that one's a major oversight. Dude, what gets me is who's sitting in on these board meetings, and nobody was like, maybe we should pick something else.
Sir, sorry to interrupt the flow of the meeting. I know everyone's on board, we're all connecting, but I just thought, maybe somebody should bring to the table that bust means ejaculation.
Yeah, yeah. Do you realize what this sounds like?
Yeah. So when we have a guy, screaming at the top of his lungs, singing in ecstasy, busting makes me feel good.
Yeah.
It could be alluded that he is coming at the end of the song. Yeah. Like, that's great, Johnson. We'll keep it in. Thank
you. Duly noted. We'll get back to you on that. Yeah.
Johnson, just like busting, that makes me feel good to know.
Yeah. Makes me feel good to bust you right out of here. Like so. But no, I don't know. I enjoyed it. And honestly, the CGI at the beginning for young Indy was pretty decent. We're still just not quite there, which maybe that's a good thing because it's kind of scary to think about otherwise, where there's still maybe like a little bit of an uncanny thing to it, especially in like close-ups.
Again, yeah.
But for the most part, it looked pretty good. There was one scene where he's like running along the top of a train where just like the stride in his run looks a little goofy, but
because he's an old man. It's still got he's still an 80-year-old man, just like, yes, I'm 35.
No, I don't think it was him. I'm sure that was probably a straight up CG shot.
You think so?
Of course, I don't know. Maybe they could have just got motion capture and then done it.
I would have thought that they probably had a body double and then they put Indy's face on top of it.
That's very possible too. But I'm gonna guess this day and age with the capability of CGI, they're not gonna risk actually, especially because it's a far off shot. They're not going to risk really having a guy on a train and him getting hurt when they could just do the motion capture in a studio and then put it in CG in the movie.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I don't know how up to date you are on like the AI stuff, but like this is old news at this point. But like, you know about Bruce Willis selling the rights to his likeness to an AI company.
And I don't think I did know about that. That's crazy.
It's pretty trippy, man. They're using you should just for the technical wildness of what they're doing with it. Like, it's this Russian AI company, and they're superimposing his face on these body doubles essentially, and using him for like different like various commercials or whatever.
Well, especially with recently, I found out he's got what was it? Was it Alzheimer's or whatever?
I don't know exactly, but I know it's something similar to that.
I wonder if if they bought it outright or if he gets paid every time on that.
Again, it's been months since I looked at it. I think they bought it outright and he got a big lump sum of money.
Okay, because I was gonna say if he gets paid every time they do something, like if they're basically just like licensing his likeness,
it might be both because not to compare myself to Bruce Willis, but a lot of the times with buyouts for like these commercials and stuff I auditioned for, it's only for a period of time usually. Like they do like a year buyout, and then if they want to rerun the ad, and then it's open to a new contract.
Yeah, it's like you've got exclusive rights for this time period, and then after that, it's you no longer have the rights, or it's renegotiated or whatever.
Precisely. So I would imagine that was probably part of the contract, I would think. I don't know. But it's pretty trippy, man, because I went and you could find it on YouTube, and it looks like Bruce Willis. Like, it doesn't. I mean, if I didn't know that, like, if the thing that didn't lead me to the rabbit hole was knowing that it was AI putting his face over this other guy's face, I wouldn't have. I would have been like, oh yeah, that's Bruce Willis for sure. Speaking of emotion,
I wonder if that's also a way, since like he is, got an illness or whatever, like that he can kind of sort of
for sure
keep working in a way without actually having to do it.
Well, think about like, how much media is out there with him. Like they could definitely, an AI could definitely imitate his voice to, damn near perfection, if not perfection at some point. And it's getting better all the time.
That's getting crazy to me, like what it can do. Have you seen those going around TikTok and some other places where I ruined it?
No, I haven't. But
and a guy, he'll do song mashups and do different versions. I saw one today, and it's all with AI. It was Johnny Cash singing Barbie Girl.
Really?
Yeah, but and it's done with AI, but like it sounds like pretty convincing.
There's a podcast that I really enjoy listening to. It's called Dudesy, and it's Will Sasso from Mad TV and another guy who is actually from where you're located at. I won't say where that is, but if you're a fan of the podcast, you'll know that it's the same area of Texas that you're filming from right now. He's from there. Anyways, they have a podcast that's run completely by an AI, and they have like these fake ad reads that they have an AI Tom Hanks read, and it's like indistinguishable. It does not sound like it sounds like Tom Hanks reading like these absurd ads. Have you heard the about the Tom Brady doing a stand-up special or whatever, an AI thing?
No.
Okay, well, I was gonna say they're responsible for that too.
Oh, okay.
Hilarious podcast. You should check it out.
Now would be the time. It's already past the time, but still, you could get in on it to take advantage of a lot of the stuff, because it's the same as like basically anytime new technology comes out, where like the laws for that just don't exist yet because it wasn't around. So you could probably just do AI likenesses of people, and like there's no, it's kind of like a virtual Wild West. You know what I mean? Like there's no law, there's no rule. Like,
well, it's interesting you should say that because we'll see what comes up more of it. But I don't know if you knew that the SAG-AFTRA went on strike yesterday officially.
I've been hearing about that.
Months.
Yeah.
Well, that was precisely one of the main reasonings behind it, is because AI is just
using their likeness and whatever.
Yeah, I mean, it's only going to get better, and it's each new development in it just like increases quickly.
Well,
just think about how fast like that fucking smartphone rapidly just increased upon itself, and like to where like iPhone 4 or 5 are fucking obsolete.
Yeah, and it's exponential. It's not like a clean climb up. It's like slow, but as it does it, then it immediately
exactly, and that's kind of the point that it's reaching now.
Yeah. I just wonder how long it's going to be, and this might be kind of like what Bruce Willis is doing. He might be one of the first, where it's like, just because an actor is unwell in his case, or maybe even dies, why does he have to stop being in movies? It's kind of like somebody's body of work. Like, let's say Michael Jackson, he's dead. Well, somebody owns the license to all his music, and it's still put out and sold and streamed. And so what's to stop somebody from, like, you've got a really popular actor. Okay, well, I want to retire, or maybe I'm on my deathbed, sell my likeness, and you can put me in the next. We could have Sean Connery in the next James Bond movie, for an example. Yeah. Why not? Use AI, make his likeness. Connery's back. Like,
Yeah, I'll blow your mind a little bit more. I would say, arguably, depending on how much will be available to the public, but I would say you can use it for just about everything, especially like for, I don't know, say two Joe Schmoes recording a weekly podcast. Like eventually we're going to have enough content of our voices to where we can like have an AI use our voice for whatever.
That's kind of scary to think about, actually.
Yeah. But it's cool. Yeah, it's cool. And like, it could obviously be used for nefarious purposes, but obviously, we'll see what happens with the, where it goes with the laws and that.
Yeah, the laws are going to come into play because eventually all this stuff's going to get happening, and people can do it. They will, and so there's it'll be like everything else. Something will come along that'll set the precedent, or there'll be things run amok. Another great example: early days of the internet. There's a guy I work with. He was kind of an early adopter of the internet. Like in early to mid 90s before it was everywhere. It was back when only really kind of maybe people in certain professions or niche hobbyists were really using it. And he was talking about being in some of the chat rooms, and they were just trading stolen credit card information and just all this stuff that the laws for all that stuff didn't really exist. You try to report your credit card stolen, and the police would be like, so somebody stole your card. It's like, well, no, I still have it, but they stole the information. And they were like, well, if they didn't steal it from you, there's not a lot we can do.
Yeah. I mean, that's basically, I don't know if you saw that series, kind of dramatizing the whole Pam and Tommy sex tape thing. That was kind of what they ran into, litigation wise, that, the internet basically just jumped over a whole bunch of loopholes where it's like, well, try to take something down from the internet today.
Yeah, a lot of that's been established too. Once it's on the internet, it's usually on there, and you can try real hard to scrub something, but it's there somewhere if somebody really wants to find it.
Yeah, well, I mean, I think, and again, back to talking about the Dudesy podcast, which I don't know, I've just been listening to a lot of it. I really enjoy the hell out of it. But they got, Tom Brady, sent him a cease and desist, or his lawyers did rather. But it was kind of pointless because they took it down from the website, but I can still find it. You can still find it on YouTube. Anybody can just download that shit, upload it somewhere else. You're never going to get rid of it.
Well, yeah, and same thing. Even if you were the same uploader, let's say you put on a YouTube cease and desist, take it down, create a new YouTube profile, upload it again.
Yep.
And just repeat.
Dude, when Tom Cruise couldn't get rid of his fucking, crazy rants on the internet, that pretty much should have just set the precedent. Tom Cruise can't get rid of shit on the internet.
Yeah.
You don't stand a chance, Tom Brady.
Yeah. Good luck.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah. AI is going to, and it's growing so fast. And like I said, it's going to grow exponentially. So.
Yeah, and then we'll have all these different avatars made by other people that are just I want to see what Avatar 9 looks like.
Yeah, pretty soon it's going to be just the Terminator endoskeleton. Yeah. Yeah, and just up until the point where it terminates me. I feel like that's that will be a utopia where it's just dude, if I could have a Terminator, that would be sweet.
Yeah.
One that was programmed to listen to me and stuff.
Yeah. Maybe give it a different name than Terminator, because I feel like that's going to scare the shit out of a lot of people. Maybe figure out what the Rocky IV robot was called and call it that instead. I'm
do the same thing though. I'm gonna tell it don't take this the wrong way, but you are a Terminator, aren't you?
Dude. Yeah. I just thought of something. Has nobody done a supercut with the Terminator and Paulie in Rocky IV? That sounds like a genius idea.
I don't know. I've never seen one.
Well, if I had more time on my hands, or if you did things.
That's clever to think about. I'll take that in, mull it over, see what I can come up with.
Yeah. Nothing. How long has it been? Have we been doing an hour yet?
I'm pretty sure we're over an hour, to be honest with you. I don't know exactly what time we started.
I looked at my phone and then immediately forgot what time it was.
Yeah.
But yeah. All right. Well, that's anyways, folks, that's Avatar.
Yeah, this was the I kind of feel like we touched on AI a lot, but this one especially is the AI podcast.
Yeah, at least the last 10 minutes or so.
Yeah.
But I feel like we divulged just as much into that 2020 going into what's it with the way of water? What does it do? Why is it water? And how come it has waves?
Yeah. Why is it wet?
Yeah. I'm so-and-so with 2020, and I have no personality but all voice.
I might be an AI voice.
Yeah. Here's hoping. Fingers crossed. and hoping we get paid for that.
Yeah.
All right, buddy. I got to get ready for work and stuff.
All right, man.
All right, man. I'll catch you later.
All right. Bye.
Well, how about that for another episode there, dear listener? And apologies if this video seems darker than usual. It appears I had some shade thrown upon me earlier this episode. Yes, apparently old John Boy doesn't enjoy any constructive criticism. God forbid. You know. I'm burnt out with that bitch, to be honest. This is the fourth time I've tried recording this with the new setup I have going on. And I led with that 3 other times, and, well, I'm, as I said, just burnt out from the bit. I believe that's going to be the title of my first audiobook, dear listener. Brian Hickey, Burnt Out from the Bit. Because it rings true. I've had a heck of a day, dear listener. Had to record and edit and obviously submit 2 different auditions I had to do today, and then I slapped together a little anime reel for my manager to start slanging out to some anime production offices. So maybe I'll get some more of those, you know. It won't just be a one-time wonder with the maniacally laughing cannonball in One Piece, or look out, they're coming in Attack on Titan, or hey, this main character, I don't like him, and what was it called? Salaryman's Club, and then also a baboon in Africa Salaryman, which honestly the character of a talking baboon is pretty much red on the nose for me. That's that's typecasting as it gets. Yeah, you know. Cause yeah. Oh, what did we talk about this episode? We talked a good bit about AI, which, you know, poses a threat and pure wonderment for the future. But it's coming regardless, whether you're threatened by it or allured by it. It is definitely going to be the future, dear folks. Quote me here. We'll see what comes with this strike. You know, I have a feeling that the SAG strike will bring about some new conditions for what can be done with AI as far as actors go. Just simply because I don't think that the leverage is there for those opposing what the union is trying to get across. Unfortunately, I feel like the Writers Guild is totally fucked. Yeah, they unfortunately don't have the leverage. I mean, studios have a backlog of a bunch of different scripts they haven't used already, and they just gotta, you know, throw that in the AI machine and they'll have new stuff. And but fortunately or unfortunately, although it's getting closer, AI is not quite where it needs to be with replicating actors with all, you know, their expressions and making them look like a human being. So I do think some new changes will be brought about in that regard, and then hopefully, you know, I don't really see it happening, but it would be nice to see if the SAG union stood side by side with the Writers Guild. But you know, we'll see what comes of it. But either way, I'm interested to see what the terms are for using AI in the future, especially when it comes to just great actors like Sigourney Weaver. Leave it to Weaver. She's like a sexy Mike Seaver. You know what I mean? You know to weave? Yes, she was my favorite part of Avatar. If we had more of her, I would be all about that tar. Lather me up with it, babes. Avatar starring Sigourney Weaver. We get to watch her just do science stuff all day. Now that's a movie for me, I tell you. But I digress. As I said, it's been a busy day, and I can daydream about Sigourney Weaver anytime I want to, and will. But I have other things I have to prepare for. Gonna go see a Groundling show here in a bit, the Crazy Uncle Joe show. I tell you, I've been to a handful of those shows, and I have yet to figure out who the Uncle Joe is. It's, you know what? It's like that Uncle Lucius band we were talking about in previous episodes. Apparently, you don't have to be a singular entity to be considered an uncle. Sometimes you could be a Western swing band or an improv comedy show. Oh, uncles, I tell you. And with closing as always, I'd like to say, como se llama hermana? Lo siento, Palapinto. Good night, all my North Texans, and sweet dreams on my fellow Angelinos. And to everyone in between, you know what I mean. Have a good night, a good evening, a good day, all day, okay? Even if you're in a galaxy far, far away. This has been another episode of the Big Boys Podcast.
Big Boys is a podcast produced by Not So Funny or Proud Productions. The team consists of co-hosts, co-producers, and co-editors Brian Hickey and John Sorrells, better known as John the Great. For more information about the duo or this show, please visit us at bigboyspodspot.com. Or feel free to take a gander at our production page, notsofunnyorproud.com. Look us up on social media and follow us at Big Boys Podspot. New episodes drop every Thursday on every popular podcast hosting platform known to man. So please be sure to like, subscribe, vibe, describe, contrive, confide, collide, abide, preside, and tell your tribe, and most importantly, do prescribe. Me and Elixir for talking out the side of my neck.